And you've been on a lot of podcasts. How anxious have you been about being on the BeatiDudes?
Not at all.
He's like, that's appropriate. He's like, I am in no way intimidated by you three.
I just snorted. That's how bad that is.
That was good.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the BeatiDudes podcast, a podcast for Christian men seeking to grow in holiness and humor with one another as we strive to follow the Lord. My name is Paul Kolker, and I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Nick Besner.
What's going on?
And Jeff Scheffelbein.
Howdy, gentlemen.
Welcome. Yes, and we've got a really awesome show today, although I didn't know it was going to be so awesome that we needed to wear a full suit, Jeff. What's going on there?
For our audio listeners, I'm wearing a blue suit, white shirt.
Red tie.
Yeah.
Cane.
The rest of us are in polos.
I also didn't know it was going to be 90 degrees in the studio today,
Yeah.
so I picked today to make a point that
big mistake.
Nice weekend recording.
Very hot when you wear a suit.
I got a hot point to make here. The word dude is, do you know where it comes from?
Like ranching or something, right?
Actually, before that,
Oh.
from the 1800s, when they would talk about Yankee Doodle Dandy. Doodle got reduced down to dude in like the 1880s and 1890s. So a dude is an extremely well-dressed gentleman. And so I do think, and no offense, I mean, even the polos rock it. I mean, this is for, including Brett here, for BeatiDudes, which are blessed, extremely, really well-dressed gentlemen.
So we're starting our own clothing line, is what you're saying.
I think we're starting everything.
Sky's the limit.
Start it.
So, I just wanted to acknowledge the roots of our dudeness.
Cool.
So I wore a suit.
When we're recording in a building that doesn't have very good AC right now.
You guys are sweating in polos, just to put this in perspective.
Yes.
But I'm losing weight, Paul.
Good for you.
I'm on a weight loss plan right now.
Nice. Are you trying to make weight for wrestling?
Do you want to wrestle?
No, I'm good.
No. The sauna doesn't mean with the suit. It's a separate thing.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I bring the sauna with me.
Portable sauna.
Awesome.
Well, yes, we've got quite the show today, and we're joined by a wonderful guest in the pro-life movement, Brett Attebery. That's right. Welcome.
Pro-life and real life.
Thank you. Yes, that's right.
And you've been on a lot of podcasts. How anxious have you been about being on the BeatiDudes?
Not at all.
He's like, that's appropriate. He's like, I am in no way intimidated by you three.
I just snorted. That's how bad that is.
That was good.
I was kind of like, I wonder when Jeff's going to invite me. I feel really rude. I was like, did I? Jeff, when are you going to invite me? It's like,
No, but you've been a BeatiDude since before the first show. So there was like a guaranteed moment coming.
Like an honorable... Yeah.
You're not even honorable. You are an OG BeatiDude. I've known this. I can remember talking to you back in January, December. We were kind of dropping hints about the BeatiDudes, and you're like, I'm in. And I know you meant being on the show, but I also know that you meant you are a BeatiDude.
Oh, cool.
You're very well dressed.
Wow.
I tried to explain to Deacon Charlie on his show what it means to be a BeatiDude. And I made up a bunch of stuff, so I'm actually going to look to all three of you. What do you think it means? There's probably some wrong answers, but there's a lot of right answers. To be a BeatiDude, what does that mean to you?
Start with Nick.
All right. On the spot. I think that there's a couple of things as a man.
Manliness.
Manliness. And what does that mean as you lead in your own life, whether you're single, discerning, married, in a vocation, whatever God is calling you to be. Leaning into that and stepping up in whatever way that is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think manliness in the sense of an authentic masculinity, right? Where it's as the Lord was masculine because he was also, it's not like we have to be this Clint Eastwood sort of stereotype. It's we can be in touch with the deeper parts of our heart, right? Where we're in touch with those movements of the Holy Spirit at that level.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, I was going to go with, a lot of times there's these readings or videos or music, and they're really like so deeply holy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But I want to like be around like dudes that are fun to be around, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
are you telling? Are you
Yes,
are you
I didn't
saying we're
say you
fun?
all.
Come on,
I didn't
Brett.
say you all.
Yeah, but
You're
just
all
in
show's
general.
over.
There's
Show's
a
over.
sin of presumption here. I didn't say y'all. No, but y'all are awesome. But I think a lot of times it's hard to attract other men to holiness.
Yeah.
If you're like, if you look too holy, does that sound weird?
No,
It's
I
like
get it.
if you exude this thing, it's like, it can be like, oh, I could never be like them, so I don't even want to talk to them.
Yeah, if you're not at that exact same stage, then you're not going to be welcomed in because you couldn't possibly catch up to the holiness and the gravity of it all.
I'm gonna jump in and like we just started watching The Chosen, so we're behind, everybody else.
That's
but
shameful.
yeah, that's how we do things. We'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Anyways, I really identify or just like I can see like Simon Peter is somebody just like me, like he likes to gamble and have fun and do whatever. Like it's just like it makes it so much more real that like this is who God chose, Jesus chose to start the church, and he's just kind of like us.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember, it's funny you say that because I often remember that Jesus ate with tax collectors, prostitutes, and sinners. And I thought to myself, well, if he wasn't pretty cool, I don't think they would have invited him.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah, there's
Hang
something
out
there
with that guy. Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah.
that he probably had a really good sense of humor.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you're kind of packaging this up, BeatiDudes are people who are just seeking to grow, and that could be from the very first step to taking holiness deeper, taking prayer life deeper. You're just seeking to grow, but also you want to hang out and have real great relationships with other men, and you're a BeatiDude. So you could be at any level and really from any background and be a BeatiDude, but you can't be a jerk. And it's like somebody said one day, they were like, hey, I want you to be on the show. And he said, I'm not funny. And I said, we are.
Yeah, so humility's
Humility
not
also
part of it. Yeah.
Guys, I am working on things.
We're getting better. We're growing.
Oh my goodness.
Progress.
Okay, Brett, as a BeatiDude, welcome to this show.
Thank you.
You have several different things, several different fires going at once right now, and I feel like you are a jet setter with everything that you got going on here. Let's talk about your role at Heroic Media, then talk to us about some of the other stuff that are supplemental to that as well.
Yeah, no one's ever called me a jet setter before, so
Well,
now I got that.
Yeah, I like land in LA and we're like, Brett Attebery was just here. And I'm like, okay, great. This is a giant city. I'm just supposed to hear that at the airport.
So Heroic Media, yes. So I've been there, almost 8.5 years, which is crazy because it's gone by so fast. Basically, and I'm sure we'll get into this more, but basically Heroic Media does pro-life advertising, not for pro-life groups, but specifically works with frontline pro-life pregnancy help centers to advertise, and very intentional about advertising to redirect women away from abortion facilities. So we do that through a special kind of direct response advertising, and when a woman responds to our ad, a lot of times she's right in the middle of looking for an abortion. She's actively seeking an abortion. So our ads are kind of an intervention, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And when she responds to our ad, she gets connected to local help. So that's essentially what we do. And we have some more exciting things going on now, but I don't know if you want me to go into that or
Share a few of those. I'd love to hear them. Yeah.
Okay. So a few years ago, and this is in my book.
Yeah, pull your book out. Paul, grab that book right there. His book is on the shelf here. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Look at this.
Don't think I didn't notice this in the other shows. I was like, I wonder if they're going to zoom in.
That spot we cycle all of the books of the guests in
For
it.
the audio listeners, it's Your Pro-Life Bottom Line by Brett Attebery.
I know that guy.
We have a published author in the room.
Can I just sit here like this the rest of the
Yes.
Yeah, hold on. Is
that's
this an
yours.
autographed copy though? Let's see if it is.
Probably-
Nope, not that one.
No,
I do. I think
keep my
Can I get your
autograph
pen?
one at home.
it's
About to be.
Do you have it on a special part of the shelf? Yeah.
Where's a pen?
Special light on it. I'm
fake
just-
pen.
In my first edition collection of books signed by authors.
Wow,
I have one.
what an honor. So it's in this book, but a few years ago met what I call just like a center I'd never seen before. And it was up in St. Louis. It's called Thrive Express Women's Healthcare. So what was different about it? Well, when I walked in, I was like, man, if I was ever going to use my marketing and sales background to create a pregnancy help center, it would look something like this.
Hmm.
You could just tell the vibe. And one of the most important things you walked in is clearly this was created for young women. So the people that put this strategy together had in their minds, what can we do to create the environment here where it resonates with young women? So as I sat down and spoke with the leader of that, it became clear to me she came from a background similar to mine, marketing and sales in the corporate world, right? So she understood, like, we have to get in there and we have to treat this like a business. And this is what this book is all about, treating competition against the abortion industry like a business, using all of those strategies that you normally use in marketing and sales. And another thing they did, which I still haven't seen any center in the country do, is they use this comprehensive, amazing brand advertising program. No center does that. And so as I always say to people when I'm doing my talks, if young women don't know about pregnancy centers before they get pregnant, then they won't call you when they get pregnant.
Yeah.
Now, as business people, you kind of go, well, that's obvious. And I think it is obvious, but I'm like, if it's so obvious, why haven't we done that historically?
What does that look like practically if you say brand advertising that they do that is so different? Like,
yeah. First of all, it's back to what I said when a woman walks in. Like, these are young women. Abortion is primarily a young woman's issue. 70% of abortions are ages between 18 and 29. So you go out and you say, well, what is their life like? If I step into their everyday narrative, like, what are they doing? What do they like? Who are the people they listen to? What is the fashion things they're into? What are the health trends they're into? All of those things matter, because no matter what your particular business is, you can step into that. You can create something around that that resonates with them and is attractive to them. So even in this issue, what we do, so if you see some of the billboards, I think, Jeff, I know you've seen them too. So if you see the billboards, it's like, oh, these are clearly not made for BeatiDudes.
Yeah.
They're made for young women, right?
But that's great. I mean, because they're the ones who are in that moment.
They're the customer, right? They're the customer. And same thing on the radio. So using the same kind of thing. It was interesting. I was at a presentation the other night. I was giving a presentation last week in Oklahoma, and I played 2 different radio ads. And clearly the language used, it's like, oh, this is for a certain demographic. And then the other one, this is for a certain demographic. Yeah. So you have to be thinking about those things and doing those kinds of things. And what happens over time, this is typical branding. It takes time, but a woman doesn't know she's going to face an unexpected pregnancy, right?
That's why it's called unexpected.
There you go. Smart guy over here on my left.
You went to college.
I didn't even wear my glasses today.
What? Very smart.
Contacts? Are you wearing contacts?
Yes.
Okay. So you're still cheating.
He's still smart. We just can't tell.
I just threw that out here to see who the smartest BeatiDude in the room was.
Well,
Nick,
I'll leave.
By far.
I'll just get up and go.
So what the heck was I?
Well, Brett, let me ask you this: Isn't it fair to say without
my age?
Yeah, join me on the old side over here. Wouldn't it be fair to say, and this isn't a knock on anyone, but name anybody in the pro-life world that's using brand voice for the young women versus speaking like you and I would hanging out over a cup of coffee. Like, we are not the demographic. So if we're going to fuel it with the money, the resources, the staffing, the legislative work, whatever it is, don't we also have to understand the person who is going to be facing that difficult moment in their life?
Absolutely. This is very difficult for pro-lifers. And part of me understands, because the moral issue of abortion is so horrific. And naturally it draws people into that, and they get obsessed with it. And that's all they want to talk about. But they don't make that jump to go, well, I'm a marketer by background, so I go, well, okay, yes, and I agree with all of that, but ultimately this is a transaction. It's a woman, and she is the decision maker. As we say in good sales, it's like, well, who's the decision maker? That's who I want to talk to. Who's going to write the order? Who's going to write the invoice? That's what matters. In this case, it's the woman. She's going to decide, and it's pretty discreet. It's either she's going to go this way and choose an abortion, or she's going to go this way and choose life. But if we don't look at it that way, and we don't start putting together the marketing plans, our talking points, and all those things that resonate and step into her reality, and this is very difficult for pro-lifers to understand, but it's just true. She has been conditioned by the abortion industry to believe that an abortion is a medical problem that requires a medical solution. So if you bring any kind of moral language into that as you're trying to attract her, she's out.
Yep.
These young women are savvy. They're super social media savvy. They kind of have these incredibly highly tuned radar about somebody here is trying to take me in a direction that I don't want to go.
Yep.
And so in your marketing, you have to bring all that forward. You can't be talking about anything that's moral. So you can't have the word baby in your the name of your business. You can't have birth. You can't have anything like that. So when you think about the center that I was talking about, Thrive Express Women's Healthcare, Thrive, very aspirational, express, fast women's healthcare, because that's how young women view abortion.
Yep.
That is part of healthcare. So you have to, sometimes as a marketer, you have to do what I call marketing Aikido. I don't know if you are familiar with Aikido.
The martial arts.
Martial arts,
Yeah.
So Aikido, you're using your opponent's force against them. Unlike karate, where just bashing them in the face. So it's like, Jeff, you're like bull rushing me, and because I know Aikido, I don't. But if let's say I did, I would be able to like use all of your force against you to not overpower you, but to take you down.
Yeah.
So as a marketer, sometimes you just have to be honest. It's like our opponents won in that area in terms of winning mind share. Now, we can go out and spend millions of dollars and waste a lot of time bashing back against it, or we can roll with it and use it against them. So, yeah, Planned Parenthood established women's health care in women's minds. Okay, we're just going to roll with that. We're going to put women's health care in our name.
We're going to back roll, put our leg on their chest, flip kick them off of us. Right?
And crash them into the pond.
That's right. Well, speaking of terrible brand voice and work on kind of positioning your brand, we would like to play a game with you.
And that game is called Blessed Are the Joke Makers, for they shall inherit
That's the thing now.
the points. I'm going with it.
All right, Brett, how many points is this going to be worth? You're judging us on round 2. The bonus round, you get to play along if you like. But what is this point total between 1 and 1,000?
100.
100. What's it going to be, Paul? Explain the game to us.
So here's how it works. We've got a character card and a statement or question or fill in the blank that we have to then answer as that character. So we're going to have to take on a persona for a moment.
A 60-year-old marketer.
Yeah, right. That would be weirdly
Brett, you're not
topical.
60. I know.
I'm getting close, though.
All right, you're not. Hey, that doesn't count.
Yeah, it's all how you market your age. But yeah, so we're going to take on this character and then answer this question. We're going to have a little bit of time while the guitar plays to figure out how, as an AI robot, we have to answer Jesus performed the miracle of blank, but it was never recorded.
Jesus performed the miracle of detecting when your opponent is using ChatGPT in a competition, but it was never recorded.
If you'll give me a minute, I'm going to use ChatGPT right now. Come up with my answer. Just going to pull this up. No.
Did I sound like I was an AI robot?
Sure. I've never heard one. I think they actually just sound like you nowadays.
They do have that kind of like melodic sound to them sometimes.
Sure.
Unless they're agitated.
Jesus performed the miracle of transforming himself into images, but it was never recorded because he was not the way, the mid-journey, and the life.
Pretty clever.
Oh.
Mid-journey is the image creator.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah, very
Okay.
good. Very good.
I mean, that's an 80s AI robot, but we weren't going into what period. I'm for it.
All right, thank you.
Nicholas?
Jesus performed the miracle of no more blue screens of death for your computers.
They had it figured out.
But it was never recorded.
And we went through thousands of years of terrible blue screens. Man, that AI robot is a tough one. Brett, you got to award your 100 points to somebody.
Well, this is a process of elimination. All I know is Jeff clearly did not win.
Oh, wow. And he's all dressed up and everything.
I feel dandy. Okay, I'm not worried about winning. I feel dandy. This is what he did to me on the radio. He
Any
like
points
rubs-
for best dressed today? Yeah, you won that by
Thank
far.
you.
Don't worry, you're a Yankee Doodle.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Paul.
All right, Paul, way to go, buddy. That's,
Wait.
when you do your own sound effects, you deserve to win, I suppose. All right, for congratulations,
Thank
Paul.
you, thank
That
you. Good
was
job, Paul.
really deep.
Appreciate it.
Brett, do you have a pair of Gianna Mola socks yet?
No,
All right, from Sock Religious, my friend, for being our celebrity judge.
With a lot of
I was about to
flair.
ask, what is that?
I got to put all those words together in my head.
Yeah.
Saint Gianna Mola, socks for you. Brett, do you know the story of Saint Gianna?
I don't.
She is actually a saint who was told to abort her child for her own life, and she chose not to. And her daughter was born. Her daughter is a living person today, and she was canonized sometime in the last decade. It probably says it on there. Yeah. But anyways, those socks come from Sock Religious, one of our partners. You can get 10% off your socks at sockreligious.com/BeatiDudes. And we're going to hit up our other sponsors and be right back. God bless.
Hey, this is Nick from the BeatiDudes. Check this out. If you're a business owner or marketer targeting Christians in your community, Decided Excellence magazine can help you reach that goal. Decided Excellence publishes monthly magazines to thousands of homeowners in your area. So whether you're a home services business owner, a Catholic school trying to grow your enrollment, whatever it might be, Decided Excellence can help you find your next customer. Visit decidedexcellence.com today and start growing together.
Hey y'all, this is Jeff Scheffelbein. When Nick and I set out to start our new company, Undivided Life, we were really concerned about how would we cover the healthcare needs of our growing families, and we were so excited to find a company that fit both our medical needs and our faith beliefs perfectly. It's called Solidarity Health Share. It is an ethical alternative to traditional health insurance. We're never part of sharing in the medical costs of anything that goes against the teachings of the Catholic Church, making it a great alternative for Catholics and Christians alike. Solidarity is very affordable, which is perfect for a large family or for a new and growing business like the one we've started. So visit joinsolidarity.com today so that you can get started with us.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the BeatiDudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot, so whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out DivineComedyImprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Brett Attebery, getting into heroic media, pro-life movement, Thrive Express Women's Healthcare. That'd be a long URL.
It is a long URL.
So you found Thrive in St. Louis. You've started working with them. Where's your current, I guess, next 6 months, 12 months look like at Heroic Media? What's your battle plan?
Yeah, we about a year ago, we started a partnership with them. That wasn't anything formal. It's kind of what I'd call almost like a beta test partnership. And the idea was let's take Thrive's newest iteration of their product, which is telehealth, which is essentially taking everything that a woman would experience inside the clinic, virtualizing that from the internet, and putting it out there as a telehealth visit. So we call that Thrive Plus. And so we said...
A lot shorter.
Yeah.
Much easier URL.
Not Thrive Express Women's Healthcare Plus. I like Thrive Plus is good.
TEWHC Plus.
Yeah. I thought about that before. I was like, I don't think that would mean much to anybody, but hey.
That's awesome.
So... yeah, that's not going to make it from a marketing.
No,
fair.
Yeah,
we ruled one out.
We tested it. It didn't work. Yeah.
I know you've been running with this, but I'm going to approve it. Thrive Plus is good.
Yeah. That's good because we already launched it about a year ago. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. So what we decided to do was partner with them and say, hey, let's take this model into other cities. And we started in Oklahoma City on July 4th last year, and we followed up a month later in Philadelphia. And that's been kind of our test over this year because you all know this. You're entrepreneurs. You start new things. Well, some things work like you planned. Some things not so much. So you really need to learn and make some adjustments before you go big in other cities. So I feel like we're at that point. We're starting to talk with Thrive about a more formal relationship, maybe a joint venture. These are kind of things that are up in the air. but the whole idea will be pretty simply to expand Thrive Plus city by city, which is the telehealth model, along with all that brand advertising we were talking about. And we want to build that up to the point where Thrive can make the claim that it's the first national counter-brand of Planned Parenthood, because right now there's no life-affirming, life-empowering brand that can say, oh, yeah, we're the ones that counter Planned Parenthood on the national level. As a matter of fact, there's not even one that can say we do it on a regional level. So that's really what we're trying to do here.
You know, one of the things that jumps out at me is you talk about changing some of the brand voice and the vernacular to appeal to the ultimate decision maker. But isn't it also true that there's a movement that's changing within the pro-life movement as a whole around vernacular? I know some of your book talks about this. When I listen to some of what's coming out of heroic media, it's a little bit of like, how do you reposition? How do you use the words that are going to speak the right way to put the fresh, appropriate brand on the entire movement, not just the place that heroic media plays? Can you speak to that? Maybe even give us a couple of examples of where the vernacular is changing?
Yeah, I'll give you one this is really recent. A very common phrase used in the pro-life movement, talking about centers, is life-affirming. And I think there's something to that. But I've always kind of like, it just doesn't hit me right. What is it about it? And I've been thinking a lot about it. And I was just talking with Bridget Van Means, who is the president of Thrive. And I said, I still think when we use that word life affirming, we're still bringing forward that we're focusing on the preborn inside of the woman's womb.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong about that. I don't think this is an either or. It's a both and. Mm-hmm. But I think too, it's absolutely necessary that many in the pro-life community start to think more about how do we attract that woman over to our side? How do we get her to choose life? And I'm not saying that doesn't exist in pro-life, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I'm just saying that it's not emphasized enough in my view. So I came up with the term, why don't we say life empowering? Because now we're starting to talk about the woman, right? Because that's really what a woman wants. As Bridget always says, a woman doesn't want an abortion. She wants a future. If you can step into that with the proper empowering type of services for her, which isn't just about, hey, take care of my immediate needs, like we call it the bottom level of Maslow's hierarchy.
Sure.
It's about showing her there's a future for you here and your child is part of it. As a matter of fact, your child can help you to get what it is you want in life. And pro-lifers typically don't talk about that. We typically say like, oh, as long as we can get you rent support and some material support, you're fine. And that's really not what a woman's looking for. Yes, like anybody, that's necessary as a start.
Yeah.
But she's looking for a lot more than that. So I think if we start using words like, oh, life empowering, those centers are life empowering, we're starting to get people's minds to focus on what do we do for the woman? How do we focus on her? How do we step into her life? How do we mentor her? How do we coach her? How do we give her opportunities to maximize everything that God has given her?
Yeah, an empowered woman can do a lot of things, during, after, and beyond, because what you said before is she wants a future.
Yeah.
That's, there's some momentary decisions over the next few months that she's facing when something unexpected happens, but you're really trying to empower her for the rest of her life.
Well, and what I would say to people is like, if you can empower the woman, she then is much more likely to make the decision to choose life and empower the preborn growing in her womb.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, it's as you're talking, it's just amazing to me because I think some people would think, oh, branding, marketing, sales, all this business speak, but really it's not as if you guys are just pitching something or selling something. What you're doing is you're trying to reach people where they are, and specifically women in what is a very distressing situation regardless. Even if you are supported, I'm sure it's an overwhelming thing to think about all of that and the future of all of that. And so to then come in and say, hey, how do we reach you where you are? I mean, really, it's just very incarnational.
Yeah, good marketing and sales in my mind is just about having a deep understanding of what it is that your target customer is all about. And it's not just about whatever product or service that you have to offer. It's like really what is it that they're all about? Like what are their aspirations? What do they want with their lives? What makes them happy? Mm-hmm. What brings them joy? If you spend a lot more time thinking about those things, then you can see like whatever your product or service is, how do I tie that in to that?
Absolutely.
Brett, I want to go back to the book for a second, if I may. Read this book.
Oh,
I know,
please do.
yeah.
Please don't hesitate. Go back to the book as many times as
Well, and that's
what's it called again, Jeff?
Your pro-life bottom line. And that's actually going to beg the question here.
Who wrote that book?
Yeah, Brett Attebery.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Oh, my friends in high school used to go, attaboy.
Attaboy.
Like, please stop.
Well, I got to tell you, stop. Keep coming. So my question for you, first of all, that's a labor of love to be able to produce a book. That's no small feat. What have you been surprised by, both good and bad, in the ways that people have reacted or reached out or the connections? I mean, like, there's got to be both sides to this, the shadow and the light side of writing a book, especially about just kind of a ho-hum topic like your pro-life bottom line.
No big deal.
So I have not had, this is going to sound really bad, I haven't had negative feedback at all. Wow. Now, of course, I get yahoos from the other side of the fence,
sure.
But I just ignore all that like we should.
They all have email accounts at Yahoo?
That's crazy.
Weird.
Because Gmail's better.
I would say once it wasn't so much about my book, but it was a presentation. And there are some people that have become so saturated with this is how you do pro-life. Like you stand out there at the facilities and you pray and you call your senators and you do other stuff. That these concepts that I was talking about in the book. Here's I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying add this.
Yeah.
The concepts they couldn't grasp. That's happened a couple of times because it's been people who have just been 50 years of doing it one way. And then you're telling them, well, here's something else that you should try because we have evidence that it actually works. And it's just hard for them to make that jump. Most people, though, and this has been very encouraging, especially if they've had some kind of business background, step right into this. And I think they're kind of surprised, as I was initially. It's like, wait a second. Oh, it's not just a moral issue. Of course it is a moral issue, but it's not just a moral issue. We can look at this from a business perspective. We can bring business principles into this and succeed. And as a matter of fact, we're not just saying, hey, we think that might work. We have an organization that actually did that implemented it 10 years ago, and it did work. So in my mind, it's about, hey, let's just start doing that everywhere else.
Yeah, very, very good. I know in the bonus show, we're actually going to get into some pretty neat things about your journey to bring you all the way to Heroic Media and the work you're doing. So if you are listening right now to this show, I highly recommend that when this one's over, tune in for the bonus show or click on the next one. You're going to hear a really powerful story that's also shared in this book, Your Pro-Life Bottom Line by Brett Attebery. How do people get in touch with or follow, or what's the best resources for them to follow along with the work that y'all are doing?
So our website is heroicmedia.org.
Okay.
Then I have my own website, which is brettattebery.com.
Attebery in your show notes.
Right. And then most of my social media stuff I do on LinkedIn. I know you've talked a lot about LinkedIn, but I think it kind of falls in line with my entire thesis here that we need to bring business principles to pro-life. So LinkedIn is the business place to do it. So like you, I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So if anyone's on there, you can find me talking on there a bit too.
Well, you write some great stuff on there. Well, I want to invite you to join us on a game, not a game, it's really a question opportunity for us to go deeper with one another. The BeatiDudes card deck, or TBD, as it's also known. We have a TBD question we'd like for you to join us in. I don't know why, but I'm going to play some intro music for this to make us feel good. Hey, it's time to load up new
Man,
sounds.
I got inspired.
Yeah. Put you in that place.
That's that manliness we were talking about at the top of the show.
Good one. Okay,
Thanks.
so
I really thought it was a good one,
I
and
did
then
too.
you play that.
I have four different
so
buttons.
defeated.
There's 4 buttons I can press. They're not good. We got to load up some new ones.
The rim shot is weirdly undermining.
Like, boom. Yeah. I'm not even pressing any buttons. I'm going to read the TBD. Okay, so today's TBD question, the BeatiDudes question, is a pretty simple one. It's, who do you go to for spiritual mentorship outside of priests or religious? So I know we could have probably named some people there, but who, from a lay perspective, a person whose vocation is not religious, do you go to when you need spiritual mentorship? And just share if you want to anything about that. I'm happy to.
Yeah, I can jump in. So it's actually kind of interesting because there was a a group of us from my youth group that all entered seminary at the same time, and then we all ended up discerning out at various times along the way. Well, so we still get together periodically. It's every few months, maybe something like that, and we'll have a whiskey and cigar night kind of thing, and we'll just sit around and swap stories basically on, well, how are you growing here? And there's a lot of this sort of thing that happens there where it's just a lot of goofiness and joking and whatnot. But at the same time, then out of that emerges, oh, well, I'm dealing with this, or how can I pray for you with, your job opportunity or whatever it is that might come up. And so it's not exactly seeking advice in that sense, but it almost always becomes, hey, how are you growing? Where do you need the Lord? Where do you need his intervention in prayer and all of that?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I would have to say my wife. And Jeff, I talked to you yesterday. I was like, she's my North Star.
That's exactly what you said.
It's just whether, everything from discerning away and leaving my last job, starting a new business, other topics, within marriage and life that come up. She's just my perfect partner for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to also say that my wife.
Probably. Every time those words are said on here, it actually is said 3 more times. 2 more times.
Yes. way to outshine me there, Nick. I'm going to be in so much trouble when this airs.
What's funny, because the episodes that we did with Father Ken Geraci, I will tell you that you guys have gone from being like spiritual brothers to spiritual mentors, because what we've been through on air, on healing and on forgiveness, and I know we're going to talk about some of that in the second show with Brett here. But my answer when I first thought of this question is a friend named Dan Hennessy, and he's just a guy that when I'm really kind of wrecked by something, or I'm struggling, or there's just kind of the spiritual battles going on, I know I can call that guy, and he has just the calmest, clearest vision to be able to speak into me what I need to hear at that time from a spiritual perspective. Not being, Father so-and-so. So what about you, Brett?
Mine's easy. It's my best friend from high school, Don Greiner, who wrote the foreword to my book.
Nice.
And, so we, as I like to say, I was telling people the other night when I was speaking, because Don was there, and we knew each other before we were even legal drivers. Like I was 14, he was 15.
Wow.
So we've known each other, pretty much all our lives. And he was a big part of my journey into the Catholic Church, because I'm a convert from, as he used to call it, ethical paganism. We could talk about that later. I was like, is that good?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
What about the branding on that?
Yeah. It's not as good as the BeatiDudes, but yeah. So anyway, so we, even just the past few days, we sat down and had a good long talk about life. It's a lot of, trading back and forth, life experiences, what's going on. So yeah, he's my brother.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, we love hearing all this. We're spending the day today with Brett Attebery from Heroic Media and from your Prolife Bottom Line, the book. And I love how you found a way to bring up the book just then in your answer. Like, this is,
Jeff,
you're a good marketer.
This is what I do.
I know. I'm very impressed. So, Brett, if you've watched this show, you know that we're like The Simpsons, only better. We do every show differently at the end, and they do every show differently at the beginning. So for Reverse Simpsons today, we thought we would celebrate Brett. And so we have decided to throw a party called a Happy Brett Day Party. And so on this Brett Day party, I actually brought glasses for you guys to celebrate, by the way.
Oh, nice.
This is party time glasses.
Calling these.
Woohoo!
Here, I don't know which ones you want, but...
Amazing.
Here, these might be less...
more appropriate.
More dandy. So for these are terrible. Ouch. For this Brett Day party, we were all given a challenge, Brett. We all had to get a gift for you.
You look ridiculous.
It means a lot coming from you.
Amazing.
Go to youtube.com/
underscore
BeatiDudes.
You look like some kind of like superhero.
Thank
this
you.
Marvel movie or something.
I hid those glasses in the Life is Messy book. I don't know if that's another good plug.
It's a symbol.
So I'll tell you what the goal was. We each had to get you a gift that was $5 or less. We're going to present it to you. You actually have to judge the gifts as you would at any real party for yourself. We have no idea when your birthday is, but today is Brett Day. Happy Brett Day, Brett.
Thank you so much.
Attaboy.
I have to. At a party, I wouldn't judge them out loud. Out here, I have to do it.
You do,
Yeah,
actually. Okay, are you ready to go, Nick?
I'm ready
on
to
yours?
go. I got it right here. Can I get some music chimes?
Yeah, sure.
Drum.
There we go.
There we go. Here you go, Brett.
All right, what do we got here?
It's
You
in
gotta
the mail.
Speak it out
Yep,
loud.
It's in the mail. It's coming. And Brett, you went to college at
Where'd you go?
Tulane University.
and I got you a sticker from the time period. It's the logo or the mascot from when you were in school there. It's a little bit different.
What year was that?
Please don't say that.
I'll just say that sticker was used from 1965 to 1985. So
So you were there in 84.
I graduated in 88, so I started in 83.
Sorry,
I thought
didn't mean
this
to
was
do
going to be
math.
like from the 20s.
Ah, see?
so
You don't
It's
have
in
to-
the mail.
You can't
It's
give him
not-
any points yet.
it's
but
not Amazon one-day shipping.
great,
but
great gift. That's a great gift.
It's very thoughtful.
Very thoughtful.
All right, do you want to go next, Paul?
Sure, yes. So the limitation was $5. So I don't know if it qualifies with tax, but
No, you're fine.
$4.99.
I went to the
Yeah,
$5
that's fine.
store.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I got you some dish soap. It's 7th generation, clean with purpose, because you're trying to clean up a big mess we're all going through, and you're looking forward to the next generations.
The next 7
I'm
generations.
speechless.
Right? I literally just looked at labels in the grocery store. I hope that works.
How much? Yeah. How old is? Or how much does this cost? Well, I guess after how much we're sweating it out here, maybe you can use it. Okay. So I first of all I wrapped mine in a pray, hope, and don't worry bag. This happened to be sitting around the house. Funny you should bring up Attaboy, because I was thinking about Brett. You're kind of always on the run, always on the go, and it's hard to catch you.
Jet setter.
Yeah, you're a jet setter. I want you to know
A Brett
how
setter.
much you're a Brett setter, how much I'm always cheering you on, and that we are pulling for you. So I made an Attaboy Attebery clock, and every hour has a something to cheer you on. I'm gonna put this up next to camera 2 here. Attaboy, Attebery, and I mean this is like one of those like kind of candy hearts. Like 1 o'clock, you rock. 3 o'clock, great work. 6 o'clock, you got this. Dynamite. Brett is the bomb. Amazing, Brett. So here's a clock that
Hey, what do you think is the best gift? I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't know some of us were going to, really
Put in
pander.
effort.
A pander was what I was going to
pander.
Paul, I don't know. I just have a feeling you're bringing up the rear on this one.
touche. Wait, I can write.
It'll be
Hold on.
clean though.
Where's a marker? I can write stuff on the soap.
Attaboy, 7th generation man.
All right. Sorry to make you do this at your own Brett party, but you got it. Brett Day.
Well, as I did while ago, I'm going to announce last place first.
Okay.
That would be Paul.
Thank you.
Finally.
Hey, I call it
And-
third place.
I greatly, Nick, appreciate the Tulane reference. It's very thoughtful.
But
But
you get
I'm
second
looking
place.
at this and thinking, I will never be pessimistic in my life again.
Every hour.
Every
this
hour.
You won't
On the
have time
hour.
to.
Staring at me. Amazing. Jeff, you win.
Remarkable.
Congratulations. Beautiful.
Wait. Why when you win do you get the beatitude?
Everybody else gets,
Because he's closest to the button.
Yeah,
he gets to control
Be
it.
nice to me.
Dang it. It's good to be the king.
I can't see the buttons because I got all these glasses.
Those are awesome glasses.
All right. For all of you listening, everybody out there, check out Heroic Media and check out the bonus episode. You're going to love this. Attaboy, Attebery, Your Pro-Life Bottom Line, the book. And until we see you again, we will see you in the Eucharist. God bless you all.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.